Today we have another Seth reaction. This one is titled The Nation's Review. Big fan of Seth's channel. It's been a while since I uploaded a reaction from him. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more reactions like this, let me know in the comments. Also suggest me any videos you'd like me to react to in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. And of course, if you want to stay updated with the YouTube and the Twitch and everything, you could join the Discord. It's where everyone hangs out. Without further ado, we're going to get into this reaction. The Nation's Review filler episode. Now, is this a filler episode I like in the anime? Or is this what it's called?
Hey people, Seth here. Imagine living in a world much like our own, but a horrific distortion where men are systematically oppressed, objectified, and enslaved, where the only two options in life are going to the forest to acquire berries and going to the gym to acquire a toned physique. Such a dystopia can be experienced in The Nations, which is actually the second game in a series. In German, it's called Die Wolke 2, but in English, we don't use numbers in our game titles. Numbers are for confusing the taxpayer. This game was released, developed, and published in Austria 2001. Today, I'll be covering games my mom likes in the event that she finds this channel and finds out that I am, in fact, not working as a stockbroker. At this point, the lie is so deep that it's no longer a lie. I've had to learn about stock options to live this double life, and I have to trade shit coins to sell the fiction. To get started, you need a time machine. This game doesn't run on Windows 10.
I don't know anything about investing yet, but what I do know is Dogecoin is a meme. So yeah, there's a feminist faction in that game. It looks like the whole game is a feminist faction.
Too old. So I had to take a laptop that's nearly 10 years old and run it from there. It might look scuffed, and that's because it is. To keep it working, I ripped out the thermal sensor, which means if I flip it over, I can reliably cook eggs on the surface. Upon launching the game, you'll notice they don't make menus like they used to. Just look at this shit. We've got head tracking, warm colors, hand-drawn art for every mission. The dude even smiles if you put your mouse over him, and he gets sad if you try to turn off the game. And guess what? If you leave the game unattended, it'll scare the shit out of you, because you'll hear buzzing from the other room and Mr. P. Pimon going apeshit on every fly that crosses the screen. There's even a scorecard to check bug fatalities against the number of times he missed. To start playing, you need to pick a campaign.
That seems like overkill. But if they program this in a game today, they will make your FPS lag so bad. They don't make games like they did, not just menus. True. All them PS2 games I have were so fun to play. Like, I wish they would remaster them. But judging by what they done to Star Wars Battlefront, I don't want them to remaster anything. Because they just fucking screw it up, to be honest.
There's two for each race, one for the original and one for the gold edition of the game. Now, let's talk about race. There's three of them: the Pimons, the Sajikis, and the Amazons. Amazons are humans, but instead, we live in a matriarchy. Only girls can own property, and men are nothing but slabs of meat to satisfy the female gaze. Pimons are obese, lazy alcoholics whose only desires are to eat, drink, and avoid responsibility. To them, the prospect of an honest day's work is just as horrific as sobriety. And you would understand too when you see a Pimon female. Horrendous at the front, but holy shit, business at the back. I've heard the cliche of that's no ass, it's a dump truck, but in this case, that's no dump truck. It's an international cargo freighter. And the Sajikis are actual, literal bugmen who plan to backstab you the first chance they get. Luckily, they're completely retarded and will often betray each other before they manage to betray you. Gameplay is a bit unorthodox. You can't control your citizens directly. You can only influence them in the right direction. The life cycle of an average citizen is very intense. One day, you're born. The next, you're a teenager that's ready to enter the labor force, which operates on a planned economy. The moment you join the labor force, you move in to your government-assigned flat and get married to your government-assigned girlfriend. The day after that,
a planned economy is like communism, right? Like, that's what they call economists. A communist economy, planned, like it's government controlled, right?
give birth to another 2 kids, and repeat the cycle. You can tell Austrians made this game because they're aliens that consider 6 p.m. as bedtime, which is the time each game day ends and proceeds to the next. As your settlement expands and your population explodes, you're going to need better technology. To get that, you're going to have to build a laboratory. Once you do, every scientist in the free market is going to break down your door looking for a job. This game contains a highly realistic depiction of academic research. Bachelor students are highly affordable, yet highly incompetent, while masters and PhDs research much faster. They also demand a higher salary. But
most dictatorships have centrally planned economy, though, not just the commies. Right. It's government controlled.
Ironically, the faster they work, the faster I'm gonna fire them. Each mission, your civilization has an evolution level, of which there are 3, which I like to call the village, the city, and the state. Advancing in evolution gives you more technology, but also gives you more responsibilities. For example, evolution level 2 gives you bread, but also gives your citizens a hunger for pastries. And if you can't provide their daily croissant, then guess what? They're going to turn into hardened criminals, and they're going to get their baked goods one way or another. They also develop a need for God, or rather, God develops a need for them. Because after evolving, if you don't send a daily prayer, God is going to send you a bubonic plague. The highest evolution level comes with the highest demand.
1 pastry, 1 soap, 1 sausage, 1 berry cake, 1 mushroom juice.
At this point, every family requires multiple luxury goods each day, or they have a mental breakdown. These are unique for each race, confirming the belief that the only people who consume energy drinks are teenagers and bugmen. The Ssetthzeentach have a high demand for monster energy, which is, of course, made from snake poison. In contrast, the Pimons ferment mushrooms into alcohol, and the Amazons condense berries into pies. There's not that much more to it. You sit back, relax, and set the game speed to turbo. If I'm very honest, the campaigns aren't very difficult. That is, until you get to combat. Military works very similar to research, except this game borrows heavily from the Democratic Republic of Congo School of Conflict. In other words, you don't have a standing army, as per se. Instead, you hire PMCs and mercenaries who will fight, die, and commit war crimes for a daily salary. And since they don't trust the stability of your printed, hyperinflated fiat currency, they only take payment in bars of solid gold.
There you go.
Or sausages and pastries.
Yes.
And really whatever else you offer them. Honestly, they'll take anything.
How are you gonna take payment in bars of solid gold? Who even has that many bars of solid gold? Like 1 bar of gold is like 300,000.
Military are the only units you can directly control, and usually victory is a question of who has the most gold to fund the largest private military. So how do you make the most gold? Well, by trading. Unfortunately, in this game, the commodity market is entirely monopolized. By who, do you ask? By the same people who monopolized childbirth. Storks. I'm not even joking, this is the actual lore of the game. Also known as the Flying Merchants, they control the entirety of trade. So whether you sign a trade contract with another player or sign with a flying merchant directly, it doesn't really matter, because you still depend on their aircraft for transport, and they directly fix the prices. So you try to trade as much volume as you can for diminishing returns, get as much gold as you can, and then pray to God, and in return, he's going to double your gold. And then you're going to commit an atrocity. This game isn't that deep, but it's charming, and it's made with love. The music has some real banger tracks in there, the dialogue is hilarious, and the sprite work, oh god, it's gorgeous. As a kid, I never understood the appeal of just watching shit unfold, but now I get it. I
agree with his last statement. As a kid, this game would have seemed so boring.
See, feel, and share in the struggles of each of my individual bugmen. From a little baby larva, to a teenager, to an unemployed crackhead because I forgot to send them to school. Because in this game, the state is directly responsible if you become a fisherman or you end up shooting meth into your arms. Because, as a good friend once told me, smoking meth is for the rich. We're not
I
rich.
see.
We're middle class. I did hear a critique of this
Is it
game,
though?
however, and I will address it. Here it goes. Population control, or rather, the lack of it. You see, if you keep building, your population keeps expanding infinitely
Damn, why'd
and
have so many kids?
exponentially
Damn, a
until you can
TV.
no longer sustain yourself. But I found the answer to that. To understand it, you need to understand that every citizen has motivation, which is the sum of positive and negative events they've experienced that day. And to clarify, in Amazon society, that only applies to women. Men don't even have an emotion tracker. That's how secondary our role is in society. We only live, get ripped, and die. Wild animals don't even attack us, because that requires us to have the capacity to feel upset about such an event. In fact, men only have two moods. One, pick berries, and two, look for wife. But I digress. If motivation drops too low, that citizen either becomes a criminal or leaves the city altogether. This is important, because earlier, I made a mistake. There's 3 evolutionary levels to civilization, but in reality, they are the village, the city, and the police state. As in a game, without contraceptives and reproductive policy, the only means of population control is to arrest everyone. We don't have to build homes because we can build prisons instead.
Exactly,
you see,
there you
at
go.
a certain level, we can no longer afford to keep everyone happy. Misery is an essential component of stability, and those who refuse to leave gracefully
I think so.
will be re-educated by the state again and again and again, until they finally break. Perhaps this little game from Austria accidentally communicated something that it never intended. That, for the cogs and gears of modern society to keep spinning, it becomes inevitable that the fate and destiny of many men and women inside the system is to be consumed by the system. Or maybe they just didn't really think about it. I hope you've enjoyed my TED Talk on why we should reinstate capital punishment. Next time, child labor. Is it really labor if we don't pay? I give this game a very good score. What is it? I don't know. I've blurred it out.
Blood vision.
I give this game a very good score.
Blood vision could be a symptom of onset myopia. Of early onset myopia.
What is it? I don't know. I've blurred it out. Do I recommend it? Yes. Should you buy it? No. In summary, I hope one day we will reach universal suffrage, where the voices and opinions of men will be held equal to women. Until then, all we can do is spend our days driving around in John Deere tractors and bodybuild forever. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I know I've been slow, but it should get faster. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos.
I'm intrigued if you'll ever play like a new release or something like that and make a review on it. He seems to only play old games. I love how he said, "Do I recommend this game? Yes. Should you buy it? No." Good one.